Coronavirus update. This is getting absurd. And you are being told absolute porkies about this coronavirus to scare you into thinking all these bans are lifesavers. In a second, I'll tell you the biggest whopper of all just today. But some of these bans, what on earth is the good of them now that we've got new infections down to just 26 in the past day? 26 new infections in the whole country. And yet we're still told, stay at home. In some states, you can't even go outside to bushwalk or to surf. In Victoria, you can't even play golf, even on your own.
But I don't need to play golf. No one needs to play golf. I might want to, but me playing golf simply isn't worth someone's life.
Can you believe that, Premier? A round of golf, keeping your distance in the fresh open air, nice sunshine, that's going to kill someone? This is insane. Insane. Particularly when a new study from China says this is a virus which overwhelmingly spreads indoors, not in the open air. This study looked at more than 300 outbreaks in China involving 3 or more people, and it said, we identified only a single outbreak in an outdoor environment, which involved 2 cases. 1 outbreak in the outdoors. I suspect it's probably the same story here, more or less, since half our deaths have been of people who are either cooped up in a cruise ship or in an aged care home or hospital. Now, when I say that now is the time to relax some of the less useful bans, I get critics saying, shut up with my dangerous talk. You just want to go and kill my grandmother or whatever. They say it's precisely because we can't do things like sit on a park bench or a Bondi beach that we've just had 71 deaths when the experts told us to get ready for up to 150,000 deaths. So many of them, in fact, that we would have run out of emergency beds to treat all the dying by April 5, a couple of weeks ago. Well, to that argument, I say this. Well, yes, those stay-home rules do save lives because since they've come in, look, not one Australian has died of an attack by a tiger. Now, that's absurd, you'll say. There aren't tigers here. These bans haven't saved us from that. But same logic. Some of those bans have not saved us from dying of the coronavirus either. Yes, I know there is a coronavirus, and clearly it can kill. And yes, I support bans like quarantining of the sick and overseas visitors. How often do I have to say this? Social distancing, my little gel here. But some of those other bans? Seriously? And how many lives have we saved? Really? Really? Because I reckon the threat has been wildly exaggerated. Today, one of the most brazen examples, a boast from Victoria's Chief Medical Officer that more than 30,000 Victorians, in fact, he said 36,000, would have died without these tough social restriction rules, which I call absolute bull. That claim, you see, is based on modelling for the government, federal government, claiming that 150,000 of us across the country could be about to die. 150,000. Modelling that made our politicians panic. But 150,000 dead was never going to happen here. Even in Italy, the worst case. I mean, that's a country twice our population. Worse health system. People living more on top of each other. A population a decade older than us. This virus really hits the old, you see. Even there, Italy, the death toll is still less than 25,000. Terrible, but less than 25,000. But Victorian officials are claiming they'd saved 36,000 deaths just in Victoria. Rubbish. Even in New South Wales, our most populated state, health officials on the weekend there were bragging not of saving tens of thousands of lives, but up to 700. But they've saved 700, but Victorians have saved 36,000. What? They got suddenly a safer virus in New South Wales, or are the Victorians telling us porkies? You're being absolutely snowed. The models that our politicians were listening to a month ago when they freaked, 150,000 could die, they were plainly wrong. Yet Victoria's chief medical officer is still waving them around like, oh, no, they were right all along, stay in your houses and thank us for it. Now, if all these bans came at no cost, you'd think, better safe than sorry. Let's keep going for another 5 months. Let's not go outside. But they do cost, don't they? They cost you jobs. They cost you your savings. They cost you your freedom. And we're now starting to see the pain of them, the depression, the suicides, the massive debt that we're going to have to one day repay. So I suggest you start asking questions of our politicians. Why did you panic? And when, please when, will you stop?